technology. It's not the only, the AI stuff is not the only thing being stubborn. It's technology in general. It's in
Yeah.
the it's in the planet, it's the equinox, it's everything.
No, it's not just that. It's also because it's so um untrained for, because our looks, are cartoony. They're not human-like, so they don't have
Yep,
as much reference to pull from. So it makes it harder for it to understand what you want.
you got
So,
it.
but we should be okay. You sent some emails, but that's you. Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
But no,
Hold
I
on.
mean, I'm gonna share screen here.
There she is.
There we go.
Hey, Marilyn.
Hey,
Welcome.
we're
Welcome.
here.
We
Hello.
were in multi-meeting settings, but whatever. We're
So,
here.
right,
We're
great,
here. We're here.
Woohoo!
great.
All right.
Hey,
Hi, how
Chris.
are you? Hi, how are
Good.
you? So I'm gonna show you some of the stuff that I've got done. AI likes to be very stubborn sometimes. So, but here's our squiggles on top of gumdrop and skates. One thing I wasn't sure. We need to think about the layout, because um, one thing I haven't I realized is that if we have a camera pointing towards us right now, there is no actual walls or anything. So we got to make sure the characters are either pointing or are standing around, or behind these guys and behind Santa. So when I do a close up of their faces, we actually see the backdrop that we already have. But if they're facing, like, if we see the back of the characters in front of Santa, for example, and we do a close up of them, we would have to have some background on, that doesn't exist yet. So I would have to create some of that as well. So,
Right.
so we're gonna have to be strategic about it. But um, one thing I wasn't sure is, um, we should probably, make the scale, scale it down a little bit more, so there's more room for all of them. So more towards this way, I was
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah, never
Yeah.
mind the little ghosting stuff. That's just some post effects I have in Photoshop. But so I
Yep.
was thinking about that scale, that big perhaps, and then have the characters stand, beside them or behind them. So when we do close-ups, uh, and maybe, a couple of them, in front of Gundrop, standing in a line, so that, when we do the close-ups, we see the this back wall basically with a
Hmm.
window, you know.
Yep.
So
Agree.
that way we don't have to create a whole new wall, because that a
Right.
lot of
This
extra work.
wall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So we'll keep the, within these three walls, so that they are lined up in such a way, or maybe we
Agree.
can even have one on the screen right, standing looking at him that way, so that,
Yep.
so we'll have this shelf behind them when we do the close up of that
Hmm.
particular character, basically. So that's what I was thinking about that. So
Hold on, Chris, just a sec.
sure.
Marilyn, I
Yep.
love Santa because you can see the wrinkles. Okay,
Hmm.
you were so it's good. It's
Good.
good within the context. Absolutely. Go ahead, Chris.
And no glasses.
Yeah.
So
Yep,
okay.
absolutely.
So let's go to the mail room. Made the bags off white. We put cinnamon coming off one of the bags, and we have squiggles looking at the back of the letter.
Great.
Yes. And
So,
and I guess at some point with MALE.
oh yeah, we have that too. So,
The thing about the white, the only problem with the white is that his beard is now cream, kind of dirty. So I
okay,
think I
we
think
can
the
change
thing
that.
is, Chris, we got to come down a little on the white and
Oh,
come
okay,
up a
sure,
little on Santa's beard and his eyebrows and his fur. So
sure.
he's a little brighter with the white, and maybe the mailbags are a little bit dimmer because that bright
No,
white
no
makes him
worries, no
so
worries. We can
great.
totally do that. I
But that's
have
the
eight,
idea. You got the elves in there wonderfully.
so
You got all
so
eight of
I can
them.
make him like that. See, look at
Yeah,
this
he's
bag over
brighter.
here.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. Make it that way, and then
And
it's
then
all.
this one too, I can make this guy's more like that. And
Yep.
I can make his beard brighter.
Little whiter
yeah,
mustache,
yeah, yeah,
eyebrows,
for
fur.
sure. So if you
There,
like
but
this
that's
level,
close, man. Look at that. Look at that shot. That is a postcard. Beautiful, Chris. Beautiful.
okay. All
Agree.
right, awesome.
Agree.
So let me
Agree.
just do a quick save for this one, and then I'll go ahead and get everything more white, the white fur and everything here, so it stands out more
Yep.
than this
Great.
color.
Done.
So more like hers, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Yep.
same thing with him. I'll make sure the whites match,
Yeah.
for all of them.
Yep.
So
Great.
yeah, no worries. Okay, so we got that. Next, I started working on the poses for the characters here. So
Great.
so here we have
Great.
so
Yeah,
that's
that's so fabulous.
so that's one. We have Bo with
Great.
a giant
Big grin.
crayon wearing
Yes.
that, and then him with some kind of mechanical stamp putting
Yep.
snowflakes on the
Great.
pages.
Yep.
So
You got it.
so I'm working on the other ones. They're getting a little complicated, but I'm getting there. I'll send you some more images by the end of the day, or even or tomorrow. So
That's just great,
Okay.
Chris.
so
But Chris, you get it. What we saw.
yeah,
Thumbs
we
up.
want fun. You
You're
want
good.
fun. So
Thumbs
yeah.
up. Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, for sure, for
Absolutely.
sure. So yeah, so I'm working on that, and I started working a little bit on the interior of the Granny's house. So you should have something by tomorrow as well for that.
Great.
I make it more modern looking and with the off-white walls and stuff like that, red
Yep.
carpet or off-red, not too red, but more colorful carpet. So. But
Great.
still, we still want the rocking chair there because that's
Yeah.
her
Yep.
age. So, but yeah, it's coming along. So, yeah, if you got any other questions, let me know. I'm cranking away. I've been working even over the weekend for this just to get this as much done. So,
I know you.
uh,
I know you have. And Chris, is there anything else other than us just right now, Marilyn and I giving you the okay for what you're showing us? Consider this okay.
cool,
This
fantastic.
is
Yeah.
good. This is okay.
So
Do you need anything else from us?
absolutely, absolutely. I will send you some images,
Okay.
for reference or quick approval. But think about this, as kind of like the blueprint where we're going to go for when we do the animation.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
that's mostly for that, right? So and she's going to be holding that big crayon, and doing
Yeah,
doodling on
she's
the
cute.
pages.
They're all cute. They're all
So
adorable. It absolutely works. It absolutely works.
and
Yep.
when he stamps these beautiful little snowflakes on the pages. So.
It absolutely works.
Oh, it's so good.
Absolutely.
That glue thing, that you nailed it. That's an elf. I'm screwing
All
up.
right.
I'm trying to do it
Okay.
right, but I'm screwing it up. Yeah. Great.
But it's doing wrong, right? It's like
It's the
Right,
same thing with
right.
the scissors, when Cinema's
Right,
going to be
right.
on the
Yeah.
ground going,
Yeah,
I'm holding this and the paper is
question
flying.
about that. When they go with the scissor action, where are they cutting?
She's cutting a piece of paper, an unknown piece of paper,
So
and
a giant piece of paper when she's doing
yeah,
the
giant
cutting.
and one
Yeah,
piece of
yeah.
paper, and she's just because who knows why she's cutting it. Why is she
Right.
cutting the paper up? Nobody knows and nobody cares. It's just
Right.
that she's doing it wrong, and that's
Mhm.
her job, and she's just going to make these little pieces of paper
Right.
fly out, and Cinnamon is helping, who's
Yeah.
not
Well,
at all,
Cinnamon is going to be holding the bottom part,
holding the
but
bottom, and they're
yeah,
making the
she,
scissor.
Yep.
yeah.
and it's
Jingles is the
fluffy
one
to
that's doing the pump action with the
Yeah.
top part. So.
Great.
So, but yeah,
Amazing.
that's really the
I
AI
mean,
is
that's a
having
deep thing, but that is key, Chris, because then you go close up, and if we
Mhm.
have to, yeah, just get in on their little faces and have them, they
Yeah. So
be this
imagine
close
this
when
will
they
be a
say their
close
line.
up. Yeah. So this will be a close up kind of. So
Yep.
so what we do is they will be that size, but more closer towards walls. So
Yep.
Right.
and the walls to be a little bit off a little blurred because we'll have a little bit depth of field on it, so
Yep.
that you can focus on him, pouring the glue, over Toodles over the pages. So
Yeah.
And Chris, could you please go back to the amazing image where the three of them are standing kind of
sure.
pyramid-like, where you showed us, the two different
This
scales. So Marilyn, just remember, so we're gonna end up, so that's the smaller, that's the smaller scale, right? This is, because you
Right.
showed us two, like a bigger Santa and a smaller.
Right. So basically, I mean, technically,
This
they're
is
all
the
the same
ultimate,
size,
right?
but we're
Yep,
we're pushing them into perspective, right?
yep,
So,
yep.
but I mean, we could, of course, in here,
No,
go
I'm
back
not looking. No, this is. I just want us to remember that we're going. If you go back to what you were showing us before,
to the
to
little guys,
so
the
you
elves.
uh that same image. No, sorry, that same image. You're showing, okay, and then you've got this same image in a smaller or a different perspective. Yeah, okay. So
So they're
Marilyn,
further in the
this
middle
is,
of the room as opposed to closer
yep,
to the room,
yep.
to the camera.
So just for us to remember, Marilyn, that's what they're gonna be in,
Yeah.
right?
Chris, so I get the fact that there's no wall in front of us and we don't want to create a wall.
Hmm.
So if you had, say, ribbons sitting at his feet facing him, and we saw her back, we saw her little braids or whatever,
Hmm.
and you went close on her face, just her little face, when she said whatever she says, one, two words, is that not doable? So even if we had a soft white background,
Oh, if we could put like a soft white wall behind her, you
because
know.
I think the cuteness of the two little butts of two little elf butts looking at Santa, whether it was
Uh-huh.
cinnamon and I mean two that wouldn't be maybe right next to each other in the dialogue, but they would go.
Hmm.
But you can literally get their faces because all they're doing is one word.
Oh, no. We will get close to their faces and stuff. That's not what I was saying. What I was concerned is when we do the close-ups, it wasn't the close-ups to them, it was what was going to be behind them.
Yeah,
If the camera was facing towards us. If she was sitting, towards Santa, and then we had got to do a cut over the shoulder, or not over the shoulder, but over the shoulder from
Yeah,
Santa.
to
Yeah,
pan the other way.
but I actually wouldn't be over the shoulder because we're doing a close up. So technically, it would be just a close up of her, from the other side, right?
yeah.
So,
Yep.
but then we don't have a wall behind us right now from this
So
POV, this point of view.
let's make a decision right now, Chris. Whatever it is that needs to be put in the back is just a blank wall,
A blurry background.
a
Blurry wall.
blurry
Yeah.
a blurry wall
So you do
with
want to see
nothing.
the backs of the
I
some of
think
the
two,
elves.
maybe two little elves, maybe it's ribbons and bows that are
Uh
sitting,
huh.
with their arm
Okay.
around each other looking at
Uh huh.
Santa, and then
Okay.
another guy is up against the blue wall, and another guy is over next to Gumdrop. One, two, three, four,
Okay.
five, six, seven, and you got one other one maybe off of Santa's left elbow, kind of peeking over,
So we could have one back here and then like three,
three there, and
another four back here in front.
yeah. And
Some
then
of
you
them
just go to their little
standing in a
faces.
row, looking at him, and
You could
then we
have,
have one.
yeah, you could have one next to Gumdrop, but I think
Hmm.
when you said we can't really have any of them looking at Santa because we can't shoot them, I think if we can shoot them tight with a blank, blurry wall behind them, that will work. Because this is a story shot, and when the elves present them and they're proud of it, it's hard to light
Right,
them up. I think it would be more awkward to see them, just all kind of facing like this. They wouldn't do that. They would surround him.
right. I
Good.
understand what you're saying. Okay,
So go
got
ahead
it.
and
Yeah.
surround
Yeah,
them, and
yeah.
then we'll shoot them tight on the little lines, and then
Hmm.
we won't have to
Okay,
do that shot again because the next
sure.
shot is him taking off and they're waving.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. All right.
And
Super.
No
Now,
problem.
Chris,
Chris,
I have one thing to ask you because you'll note in the script that I sent you and to Lou that I'm going to re-record two lines because they were too long. They're both my lines as grandma.
Okay.
I will do
Okay.
them this week when I'm with Scott.
Okay.
They're the same line, it's just different words, and I will send you those adjusted recordings.
Okay.
It's towards the end of the show. You're not even close to it yet, but
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All
know
right.
that they're indicated in there.
Sure.
And then I'm also going to pick up with Randy and Berica, who are in this recording session. Randy is the voice of Santa, so we're going to get some ho-hos and some, you know, clearing of his throat.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get some elves all saying goodbye, have a good trip, see you later, Santa, in Berica. She did all the elf voices. So we'll get those little extra things and you'll have a little file
Okay.
if you get and you
Great.
Santa has to go, well, then you've got it. Right now we
Right.
didn't. So I want to make sure that we get that
Okay.
Okay.
hoopla.
Marilyn,
Great.
I'm gonna ask for something because you're going back to the studio and you're doing that. Whatever it is that he's gonna cough or whatever, to have that on the side is super duper. Let's call it version 1 of the entire thing, our 11 minutes 33-second thing right now.
Right.
Your 2 lines, if we could get a version 2 with your 2 lines in there, you know, to get a new 11 minutes 33.
Oh, you just want the brand new thing, just edited together.
Yeah.
With things in it. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
And one of them is Santa's read on and always be nice. He said it kind of as a joke. And I didn't think it was. So Randy's there. He'll just do it, same words, and always be nice. Instead of that, always be nice. You know, he kind of throws it away. It has always bothered me. So I'm gonna get that done. I will edit that. If Scott will have to edit it, but
Yeah.
I'll ask him to edit a new 11-minute with those drop-ins. And then he'll
just so that we have one clean copy
one
entirely.
clean copy. Got it. Great.
And if ever at some point we need to squeeze in the and okay, we'll have that on the side. But
Great.
having a continuous feed has been tremendous.
Great.
Tremendous.
We'll do that.
Tremendous.
I'll do
tremendous.
that. So you'll get that, and then Chris can get that, and that'll be the fine,
Okay.
as we say.
Fantastic.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
And,
Cool.
And Marilyn, if ever you can get me the full and complete name of the amazing Eli, the fantastic Berica, and the full name also of Randy. So, because I'm thinking at some point we will be able to highlight, even if it's just in a 1-pager, whomever was there, but also give them a shout out in everything that we're going to start doing from so I'm going to call it social media, but it's more an integrated communication about what we're doing.
Sure.
I just want us to be able to highlight everybody's talent, you know,
Great.
because they deserve it, because it's just
that's great.
Fantastic. So,
well, this is pretty darn cute, Chris. Really great.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome.
Excited.
Cool.
Keep going, man.
Absolutely.
We'll look at everything.
I'm going. I'm cranking. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
It's all good.
All right. Yep.
It's all good, and more to come.
Yes,
And,
definitely.
NOXNOP out.
NOXNOP
All right.
out.
NOXNOP.
Bye.
NOXNOP.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.